sky. Focus wide and fall at a time. I do not like the little things. Under my tongue, but sleep, it couldn't be alone.
Hey, what's up everyone? This is Eli from checkit.com here with an After Effects tutorial on everyone's second favorite day of the week, Effects Friday. And I have no idea how I'm saying that so fast now. It's crazy. Like you'd think I'd stammer or something, but nope. It's just my intro, I guess. It's the hand I was dealt. So anyway, guys, check out what we're making today. It's a vintage looking effect. It's all purpley and just nice looking. I've never seen anyone do a good vintage tutorial on YouTube, so that's why I'm doing this. And personally, I think this looks awesome. And I mean, it adds so much to your videos. If you're, looking for some different kind of effect for your video, if it's looking boring, this is a great option. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that, and I'm including this clean plate right here. It's just me standing in the hot Arizona sun and Brandon filming me, and then I smoothed it out, so that's why, it's all smooth and stuff. We don't have a steady cam or anything, but also I'm going to include this vintage project file right here. So that's all for free at checkit.com. Go download it and give this video a like for all our hard work, and leave a comment, because I'm leaving all my favorite comments at the end of every video. I'm showing you guys my favorite comments. And now we can get to the tutorial. So bring up After Effects, and you'll notice that we have this blank canvas area over here on the left. Let's double click in there, and let's find the clean plate footage that I included in the description, or you guys can use whatever footage you want. And let's either click and drag it over here, or click and drag it down to this button down here to create a new composition with those settings. This is full 1080p, you guys. Looks beautiful, and it's at half right now. I guess I could put it to full for right now. So, beautiful footage. Anyway, let's get to the tutorial. So, the first thing you're going to want to do, this is very important, hit and hold Control-Alt-Y. And we're going to do that 5 times, because we're going to want 5 adjustment layers. So let's start at the bottom and just hit enter with the layer selected. And let's name this first one Sat, because that is the first step. And then we're going to type in the next one, which is Con for contrast. Then we're going to type in Cur for curves. Then Blur, we'll actually type out Blur for the depth of field, of course. Then the top one will be, let's do Grain. Yes. So with that, now we can get started. Now we're all organized. That's the whole reason why I did this. So now let's start with the saturation. Why don't we? Okay, so go over to your effects and presets and type in Sat. I sat on your mom last night. Let's go. I'm just kidding. I can't get a girl with my life. Okay, anyway, just drag and drop hue and saturation over on saturation. And we're going to start with the master saturation. Just ignore all this other stuff. Bring down the master saturation, that's kind of a tongue twister, all the way down to -40. Then the master lightness, we're just going to bring up to 20. Boom. And there you go, guys, you're done. Thanks for watching. Just kidding. JK lol. Okay, so, but you are done with saturation. So let's move on to contrasting. Let's type in contrast to get rid of a lot of stuff. And color correction, we want brightness and contrast. Drag it onto con. And we're just going to bring up the contrasting. This is where it really varies from footage to footage. A lot of footage looks really good at 20 for contrasting. But in this particular shot and in the other shots, it kind of blows it out too much. Like, you see that? It just blows out the sky. And so I'm actually going to keep it at probably around 8 pixels, just so I can kind of see the sky, but it just helps out a little bit with those darks and lights, So next is the curves. This is where you really start seeing that vintage looking effect. So type in curve, because we love curves, am I right, boys? JK lol. Click and drag curves onto the cur layer. And here's where things get interesting. So we're going to go to this channel, and we're going to go to red first. Now with the red, just go to this top box right here, drag straight up and a little bit over, and then just a tad bit down. So it goes straight and then goes down a little bit. Then we're going to take this and let's bring it to right about there. So bottom left, just right above it. And we can always mess with this later. Maybe we want it to go a little more like that. Yeah, okay. That's a nice red color. Next is green. Green, we want to bring down, let's just bring it down a little bit, then bring this to right about here. Cool. And now here's where blue gets crazy. So we're going to click and drag it down. We're going to go right below this top one and right above this one. And we're starting to get that. Let's go back to our green channel. And let's actually drag this. Whoa. Let's drag. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let me grab that. There we go. Let's drag that down. Let's actually boost this. There we go. Ooh, that's looking good. Oh, that looks awesome. I'm going to keep it like that. So, if you guys don't want to do all this work, I can just include this project. I'm just going to include this project file in the description. So, yeah. Next, we're going to add in depth of field. And here's the thing with our camera. We already had a lot of great depth of field. If you see that in the background, that's great depth of field. But a lot of your guys' cameras don't have depth of field. So, but it won't look vintage if you don't have at least a little bit of depth of field. I keep saying depth of field a lot, but I hope you guys know what that is by now. So let's just type in blur over here on the side. And let's go down to camera lens blur. Click and drag it onto there. And now we want to bring this up to a desired, blur radius. And I love 10. I think it really captures a great depth of field. So we're also going to click repeat edge pixels. And that just makes it so it doesn't blur the edge pixels. Or it does blur the edge pixels, but it kind of just repeats that edge so it doesn't get a weird edge on the side. Anyway, we're going to click this pen tool up here. Actually, to make this easier, let's actually just make a quick mask. So click and drag down to the ellipse tool. And then double click with the blur layer selected. I'm just going to make sure I have it selected. We're going to double click on the ellipse tool, and that just creates a quick mask. Now let's invert it. Bring down the mask properties and just amp up this freaking feather so much. Oh my goodness, so much feather. We need that. And now, here's where the fun begins. We're going to click on one of these corners, and we're just going to drag in until you get the desired effect you want. And keep in mind, unless you want to animate this mask, make it relatively uniform. Because you don't want to have to go back and, animate this mask. And uniform as in, this mask will work good for all my other footage that I have. So it also works really good for this footage, and it also works really good. It's just on the edges. So, see, it even works good on here. So that's what I meant by uniform. See, and it'll look great on this front piece. And it just makes you focus more on the action in the middle. So, the last thing we're going to do in this part is actually optional because it takes up a lot. You need a good computer to handle rendering all this stuff. So we're going to type in grain now. And you can use misfire grain if you have misfire. But I said that you can do this. Well, I don't know if I said it in this, but you can do all of this stuff within After Effects. So let's just use this add grain. Drag and drop it onto grain. And here is where things get very interesting. So right now, because it takes so much power to view this, and because it takes so much power to view this, they made it so this middle piece right here. Oh yeah, that is that. You can have a preview area, and that's this little box right here. So right now it looks so it just looks so stupid. Now you can change it to final output right now. And you need to do that. If you come up with something you like, you need to change it to final output if you're going to render it, or else it'll only do it in the area that you select. So I'm actually just going to do it to final output so I see how everything is at all times, how it affects everything. But you guys can, do the viewing mode and save a lot of power and time by doing it like that. But anyway, here's what we're going to do. So let's go to the tweaking first. Let's change the size down to 6. Actually, sorry, 0.6. That would have been bad. Softness down to 0.3. And this is going to just ignore it. So we're going to drag down the color, and we're going to go to the monochromatic, and we're going to check that. Now, application, here's where things get cool. Let's do 0.6, 0.7, Whoa, what'd I do? 0.7 and 0.8. Cool. Now, animation. Let's just make it 0.69. Ooh, that is sexy. And we want it to animate smoothly. And with that, you get my favorite looking vintage grain. Now, keep in mind, this is going to take a little while to render if you don't have a good computer. And it's even going to take a little while to, like, show up on your computer. So, anyway, let's create a new solid by just right-clicking, go into New Solid, and just type this VIGI for Vignette, and it's on top. And let's just repeat that same thing that we did for the blur layer. We'll double-click up here on the ellipse tool. We'll invert it, and we'll make it big feather. I'm talking like 300 pixels, baby. And let's drag that in a little bit, just a wee bit. Yeah. And now let's hit T for the opacity. Drop the vignette. I'm not sexist. It could be a girl if it wants. And now let's actually drag it up a little bit. Cool. A little more. I mean, this doesn't look vintage if you don't have at least some. Yeah, cool. Very nifty. See how long this takes? It's all because of that grain. Goodness gracious. But look at that. Oh my goodness, so awesome. So, I hope that you guys learned something today. And actually, I'm just going to show you guys how to render this real quick. With this, just click down on this blank canvas area down here. And we're going to go Control M to bring up the render options. Let's click on lossless. And let's bring it down to Windows Media because it's just a really condensed file format. Let's go example 2 and hit save and go render. Boom. And with that, it'll render out, and I'll show you guys what we created together at the end, and then you guys will be able to see all my favorite comments. So I hope that I taught you guys something in this lesson today, and I hope that you guys can actually use this. And thank you guys so much for watching, and thanks so much for the support lately, guys. We've been getting a lot more likes since I've been asking and Brandon's been asking, so thank you so much. Go check out our other channels. We're really trying to give you guys as much content as possible. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you guys so much for subscribing and just being awesome in general. So leave a comment, and I'll see you guys next week on the next Effects Friday. Peace!